I've long been interested in video communication online ever since I got on See You See Me 20 years ago, which dates me a little bit. But back then it was a crappy user interface. We didn't have good cameras in our computers. The bandwidth was like a 14.4 modem, which most of the people who watch this don't even remember, right? And it was 2 frames a second, if that. Now we have modern computers, high-speed bandwidth into our homes, and really good cameras on almost every laptop and other devices. And so we're going to see Rabbit that brings all that together in a really unique user interface. Who are you?
So I'm Stephanie Morgan. I'm a co-founder at Rabbit, and my background is really making multiplayer social video games, like really actually exploring things that bring people together and where the whole experience is made much more fun by doing things with your friends. And when myself and my other co-founders at Rabbit really started looking at the video chat space, we realized that there was a huge opportunity there to do something that would be awesome and amazing and be really amplified by being able to spend meaningful time with your friends and really building on my expertise and their expertise as well in social gaming.
Yeah, and when people say video chat or video conferencing or whatnot, immediately my mind goes to
conferencing is already an issue there, right? Like conferencing, that's boring, right?
Yeah.
That's just like a utility, it's a function. It's just kind of like, okay, we need person A to be able to communicate and potentially see sort of okay person B. That's not fun. That's not what video chat should be, but that's what it has been.
Yeah. And so there's been lots of tries at video communication, right? Take it out of chat. There's, from See You See Me onto NetMeeting, onto Skype, onto Google Hangouts, onto whatever else. There's been a few other attempts that usually die out pretty quickly. What do you bring to the table that's so different than all the others?
I think that our approach is really coming from a user experience and design thrust. I mean, we all do come from games, and we know that the thing that makes something really fun and compelling is when you're not focused on the software. You're not trying to find that whatever thing in the menu. You're not trying to fight in order to do what you want. You just sort of think about it and bam, it just happens, right? It's beautiful, it's seamless, and you can focus and pay attention to the things that you want to do, which in this case would be talking to people, would be sharing stuff with people, right? Would be actually having an experience with people instead of just a kind of haphazard, more conference-y conversation.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of those apps that you name actually have done a really amazing job at accomplishing the pure conferencing communication aspect. You can talk to people, that's sort of what they're designed to do, they're great at it. But when you're talking about creating something that is more like you spending time with your friends at a party, at a cafe, doing things where you're really driving and creating connection with one another, just like you would in real life, there's no software that's really let you do that. And we came from a design approach that would make it just so that it'd just be awesome to spend time with people online.
Now it's pretty cool, and that's why I invited you on. First of all, we should cover some of the limitations. You're Mac only right now, right?
We are Mac only during our closed beta.
And it's a free app?
It is a free app.
Okay.
You can get it from Rabbit, rabb.it.
So the first thing I noticed when I started up is the user interface is completely different than anything I've seen before. Walk me through a little bit what we see on the screen.
So we have taken a completely fresh approach to everything related to video chat and live content sharing. I mean, I really do think that I can safely say you've not seen a design like this before. We didn't want to build on any of the existing design tropes around video chat. We sort of reinvented everything from scratch. And there are a number of things that we've done that just kind of spring to the surface right away. So one of them is Rabbit allows there to be an unlimited number of rooms. Rooms are user created, they are persistent. So you can create a room for you and your friends to study together, and another room for you and your friends to watch your favorite TV show every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. You can mix and match and sort of create spaces to spend time with different people and do different things and know that they are always there. When you go into a room, you really see a big difference in that initial experience. Instead of just seeing a big rectangle of a person and maybe another big rectangle of another person, we've taken a completely different approach. You come into a room and it really is a space. There's a very detailed audio design that kind of goes into creating a really interesting ambiance and gives you the whole vibe of the place.
Yeah.
We have a room tone in every single room, which is a plush living room with 10 people. I don't know if you know what a room tone is.
Well, I know this room has a little bit of a fan noise up here because we weren't able to dampen all the audio, but at home it's usually kids yelling and screaming, right?
It's the sound of the space that you
Yeah.
are in, and the sound, even the sound of silence, quote unquote, really does change based off of the acoustics of the room and the number of people that are in the room.
Yep.
And by having a really plush, comfortable living room with 10 people in it, that just creates a space of happiness.
Yep.
So base, happy. Then you actually get to hear the chatter of the room. As more people come into the room, you have this little buzz you can actually overhear, just like you would if you're in a cafe or something, or at a party. If there's just a couple people, you just hear that. As more and more people come in, you get that sense of vibrancy and energy, which is awesome. Then you actually, though, can focus and actually hear just the audio for the particular group that you are talking to, have that be the primary. If there's content being shared, that becomes the primary. And Rabbit actually will adjust whichever based off of real life cues, kind of like how your brain works. So
Yeah.
if you're
When you're at the top, is there a way to see which room is hot or has people in it?
Yeah, so Rabbit will let you, it'll sort of self-organize the rooms for you using our real-time recommendation analytics engine based off of the number of people who are in it, are your friends in it, and kind of help do some sorting for you. But you have total control in where you go and how you want to actually organize stuff.
Yeah.
So you can filter by your rooms, you can see your friends' rooms, you can see what's hot and sort of featured right then. You can just search for a particular room, or you can just go to your friends list and actually see all of your friends, where they are in Rabbit. You can jump and join them, invite them to join you. So there's a bunch of different ways to sort of go about and approach it.
So it's very, you're going to have a chicken and egg problem the first week or first month maybe, where there's not going to be a lot of people in this thing, right? So you got to get your friends in. It's tied to Facebook, right?
Yeah, so we're building on Facebook. You actually can't use Rabbit if you don't have Facebook, and we're importing your social and interest graph. So the moment you come into Rabbit, all of your friends are there. It's super easy to just invite them. It's a really effortless for them to download and launch Rabbit and come join you and go play.
Yeah. So you're in this room, you can just chat, you don't have to touch a microphone or mute or
Nope.
anything like that, and it's all echo canceled, so it should all be pretty good quality, particularly because you bet on the Macs. So I know most Macs have good microphones and good cameras in them.
Yeah, that's one of the awesome benefits.
Where
of
if you're on
building
a
that.
netbook, a cheap, Chinese netbook, sometimes you get a blurry camera. Sometimes the camera doesn't work. Sometimes I do
Right.
Hangouts a lot on Google Hangout, and you see varying quality levels of equipment coming in and
Right.
knowledge of how to deal with audio. It sounds like you've really spent some time thinking about how to normalize the audio on all these
Yeah,
things.
I mean, the audio was definitely one of the most challenging aspects of Rabbit. There's a reason why pretty much no other app will let you actually not just have an unlimited number of people in a room, but also be able to share both the audio and the video for any content on your computer. It's really, really complex. It requires very low level OS access, and being able to manage that, do the echo cancellation, synchronization of the content across all different sort of bandwidth spectrums, ensuring that the audio and video quality and synchronization for the video chat as well is sort of maintained and be completely awesome. That has been a massive endeavor.
Yeah.
But I think we've done a pretty cool job.
So let's say I'm hanging out with Ashton Kutcher and he wants to show me the new Steve Jobs movie he just filmed, right? Can he do that?
Yeah, if he has rights and clearances to sort of do that from the studio that he's working with and has it on his laptop, he can absolutely just invite you to a room. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with Ashton. This is great. You go in, he's like, dude, check this out. It's literally as simple as pulling up the SharePad, clicking on the app that he wants to share with you, and bam, it's just done. You guys are now just watching his movie together, laughing, you're throwing popcorn at him, whatever you want.
And so we're going to hear the movie playing, and then we can still have a chat over the movies, just like we could in a movie theater. Now, probably somebody will say, "Hey, will you shut up? I'm trying to watch the movie," you know. But we can still have this little, you know.
I think yes. So just like I would assume if you were with a lot of people, it's probably more like a movie theater. People are gonna be like, "Dude, shut up, be quiet." But if it's you and Ashton, it's probably much more like in your living room, right? So it's you and him, you talk as much as you want, you do whatever. But the great thing is that Rabbit is totally responsive to whatever it is that is going on around you. So if you and Ashton are watching your movie and you guys are quiet, the audio from the movie will actually be the primary audio that you hear. When you guys start talking, Rabbit will detect that and sort of help you out and actually duck the audio for the shared content so you guys can talk and not have to be like, we're talking over this movie or whatever. So it's actually like 1 billion times better than your living room because it adjusts to what you guys are doing in real time.
Well, that's really cool. And you can share different media types other than just movies, right? Or video, YouTube video. You can tell me what else you can share with our groups of friends.
Literally anything. If you have it on your computer, or you can find it on the web, you can share it. So if you want to share music, movies, really glamorous stuff like presentations or text documents, whatever it is, you can literally just bam, click a button and share it with everybody.
Very cool. Now, it's not conferencing software, so there's not a lot of ways to mute people or be an administrator, or there's not a chat room to run. It's more like a game. It's more like a little chat that we would just informally join and join up. Right?
Yeah, it's really I think like how people socialize together in reality. It's not about kind of giving people artificial controls for things. Like I said, the software is very responsive to what it is that you're doing. And it allows you to have, just you and your friends hanging out and talking, or you can think about large events that could be happening within Rabbit. You could have like people who want to like DJ, want to do different things, and you sort of like collect large numbers of people and they're all sort of rocking out. It really scales and changes and evolves based off of what is happening. And when you think about how people really socialize together, it's about having meaningful conversations within a shared experience. And so Rabbit supports that by letting you have different groups of people all within the same room. You can look at groups, you can kind of get information about who's who, how they might be connected to each other. Are they friends on Facebook? What are the kinds of things that they like? And you can overhear the conversation before you actually even jump into the group if it's people that you don't know. And that really lets you do something that's very new in the space, which is really meaningfully mingle from group to group and jump from conversation to conversation, but have a totally shared experience.
Now you can't record any of this, right? It's not like the Google Plus Hangout where you can record to YouTube and make content that
Rabbit
people
is not a
watch.
performance art. Okay. Rabbit is life.
Very cool. And tell me a little bit about the company before we end up. How were you funded, and what are the plans for the next year? Because I assume you want to get on tablets and take advantage of that.
Yeah. So we're privately funded. This is an idea that we have been working on for the last year and a half plus. We really started, all of my founders and myself came out of games, and we were really looking to build something together, and knew that there was a way to, as I said, bring our experience back into the space and kind of do something very interesting and unique. And we started prototyping, started playing around with, were these crazy ideas that we were coming up with actually even feasible? Was this possible? And you're right, like this isn't 20 years ago. 20 years ago, none of this would have happened. We happened to sort of have this amazing idea at the right time, when all of these technologies, all of this hardware is actually making it possible. And we spent probably the first 6 months or so just prototyping and answering basic questions like, how can you make eye contact in video chat, and how can you address some of the things that made people feel really disconnected from one another in video chat, like super subtle stuff. You see that everybody is in a different background in traditional video chat, and that actually reminds you that you're not in the same place, and it's subtextual but has a really profound impact on creating a sense of distance. And you'll see one of the things in our design is that we have a circle shape. Everybody is in an oval, and what that does is it de-emphasizes the background, focuses your eye much more on the person. So you're really, again, focused on the people and things that are sort of important to you and about that conversation. So we answered all of these different questions, and really what you're seeing is the evolution of months and months and months and months of hard work, and now we're ready to put it out in people's hands and get feedback and
can't
see
wait
what's next.
to discover it. I think it'll be popular. Where do we get it? Where do we try it? What's the
So
URL?
you can download it from Rabbit, www.rabb.it, and it is a closed beta to start. We're out now, but we are a closed beta, and so that means some of you will sign up and be prompted to download. We're sort of staggering who comes in when, as we're in the process of figuring it all out. But everybody who signs up who is in the US will be able to participate in it.
Oh, this is an interesting question. It's US only right now?
It is US only in
Okay.
the, yeah.
Very cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.